Let's talk about how player progression works and then also how play style can impact recruiting and then also your current roster and how players may want to enter the transfer portal in college football 25. If y'all like this style of content, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Really appreciate the love I've been getting on this channel lately. I'm about 30 subscribers away from hitting 1,000 at this point and, at this current point where I'm recording. So make sure y'all drop a like for me and subscribe. And if y'all, want more details of how player progression works, I do have another video on my channel. I'll make sure to link it in the description. Go check that out. First, this dynasty we're in is a year or two, and this is actually my personal dynasty. So this is the one I just played for fun, and I played through the first year. I went Coastal Carolina, and it's interesting. I want to use this save file, and I made some additional save files so we could advance in the future. And the interesting thing about this one is I have an elite quarterback that I recruited 4-star, and then I recruited another quarterback who I didn't think was going to turn into an elite 3-star. So I kind of want to go through player progression and how this works and kind of the best way to go about having, two elite quarterbacks who are freshmen, who are, 65 overall, 73 overall. And then we also got this scrambler guy, normal development 3-star. But then we have our starting quarterback from last year. He's only a junior. So I want to just sim through and see the best possible method of going through this. And then also, we had a great year when it comes to turnovers last year. Great year when it comes to turnovers. And when I went to the transfer portal, I had 3 players interested that was 4-stars, and they all was cornerbacks. So it's these 3 cornerbacks right here. My top guy, Matthew McDoom, he's already on Coastal Carolina. He had a great year last year. But I brought in these transfer cornerbacks, and all because playing style is an A+. So I kind of just want to show y'all what playing style do. I know my camera is in the way, so I'll just quickly move it. And yeah, playing style is all A+ for these 3 guys, and it's really A+ for all my corners and all my whole secondary, and that's because of turnovers. And so I just want to sim through a year and kind of show you guys how that could change depending on what type of stats you put up. Because I had somebody ask me in the video, hey, can you just go over some playing styles and how, essentially to get recruits to want to stay committed or want to come to your program because you're having good playing styles. So I'll kind of just go over that as well. So I kind of already showed y'all the quarterbacks on this roster, but I just want to show y'all a few other players on this roster so y'all could kind of get an idea how player progression works. So this guy right here, wide receiver 3-star, he's an impact. And then we could go down the list. We're going to look at some of the freshmen. This is another freshman. He's a 3-star, but he's a star development. So, he should progress fairly quickly, you would assume. And then we have this guy Benji, who is also a star, 3-star. So we did okay when it comes to recruiting and bringing in, at least good dev traits. And then we got this impact guy, Smalls. So, and then also on the O-line, I have a right tackle, 75 overall, but he was a normal development. He was a bust, and this is what he turned out to be, man. He turned out to be a 4-star normal with 75 overall starting off. And looking at his caps, his pass blocking will not get any better unless some of my coaching attributes can unlock more. But he's capped off at the 83 when it comes to that. His power could get better, and his run blocking could get a lot better. But his run blocking is a 60. 60 run blocking is not ideal for your starting right tackle. So when you even compare his overall to my backup right tackle and look at his ratings, I would argue that this guy looks more well-rounded. I would argue that. Pass blocking is okay with 84. Power is solid. And then run blocking is, also solid as a 78. So, first of all, ratings in this game is just interesting. Because like I said, I would argue, the backup is better. But this guy's a 75 compared to 72. But we're going to start the freshman. And, he's only normal development, so we're going to see how he developed. Then also we have this D tackle who is also a freshman, John. And I believe he's also he's impact development, and he's a 4-star. And we'll see how he developed as well. But his caps are kind of low, when it comes to some of these attributes. Power moves is not great. He's more of a nose tackle. And then also we have a backup middle linebacker, and he's a freshman as well. He's a 4-star prospect. and his caps are looking okay. You know, he get a little bit better. He won't get much smarter as far as, you know, awareness and play recognition. But when it comes to his technical skills, getting stronger, he could get better in those areas. And he's starting off at the 75 overall. And like I said, all of this is important because once we advance, once I go to the other Dynasty file, we are able to compare, you know, a year or 2 years in the future and see how these guys progress and kind of see the best way to use them. This guy, Cam Dell, another free safety. He's a 4-star impact guy. And we're going to redshirt him. Then we're also going to try to play him. We're going to see, you know, just the best way of going about to getting the most out of these athletes. Because, like I said in another video, at time, it feels a little bit random, man. All right, so in this save file right here, we're going to advance a year. And we're going to start, you know, my current starting quarterback. We're going to redshirt both of the freshmen that the elite freshmen. Then we'll have another one run where we actually play the freshmen and have them start and see how they progress. As far as these wide receivers, we're not going to go out our way to start any of them. The right tackle, he will start as well. The freshman right tackle, the freshman D tackle will also start. The freshman middle linebacker will be a backup, and then the freshman safety will also be a backup. Or we'll might as well just redshirt him. We'll move him to the bench, and then this is where it gets interesting. This guy right here, he's the freshman. He's a 67 overall receiver, but he's our best kick returner. So we'll start him at kick return. And it's interesting what happens here. Very interesting what happens here when, you know, he's not playing as a wide receiver at all. He's not playing in the slot. Actually, I want to move this guy to the slot. Let's move one of our star wide receivers to the slot. And let's see if that does anything for us. So we'll move that guy to the slot. And then we'll go back to our wide receivers. But the guy that's starting that kick return, he is not playing as a wide receiver. He's only playing as a kick returner. And you'll see how much he jumps up in overall. You'll see once we advance this whole year. All right, so we finished the year 5 and 7. And I went over and looked at pretty much our season stats. And we had a very good year when it comes to picks, like just interceptions as a team total. And so all of our defensive back playing styles are still looking good, man. They're still looking good because we had a solid amount of picks. I'll show another example where we literally had 5 picks as a team, and everyone playing style in the secondary completely plummeted to a D-, and they all wanted to transfer out. And then any cornerback, safeties that I was going after and recruiting, they all did not want to go to our school no more because they seen our D-backs wasn't producing. So that's kind of how playing style works, but I'll show an example of it. All right, so here's an example where our playing style for our cornerbacks have dropped a little bit. Not too bad, C+. I seen it go lower, and another save file went all the way to a D- because we had literally 4 picks the whole year as a team. But I'll show you the stats. But we just had not as many like interceptions from defensive backs this year. So everyone's playing style went down for that reason. And we'll just go ahead and look at the stats real quick. Season stats, go to the defense. And I believe we had maybe 4 total. So 2 from our top cornerback, then 1, 2, 3. So you're looking at 5 total picks from defensive backs. So our playing style ends up going down because we just had less interceptions. So that's kind of how that works, man. It is what it is, but, you know, especially when you simming, you can't really control it. But when you're playing, you have at least some control over what you could do. For, like, the D-line, their thing is, you know, sacks. Their thing is going to be sacks and then also tackles in the backfields. Linebackers could also be sacks depending on, you know, if they're a rusher. Then it also could be, you know, if they're a pass coverage guy, could also have to do with picks. You know, we had a lot of picks, so his playing style right here is an A- still. And then also, just depending on what they are, it could be tackling. You know, we have a lot of pass coverage guys, so they all care about the picks. So we got a lot of picks, which is great. But if we had some run stoppers, then they may care about, you know, a lot of tackles in the backfield and also things like that. And then wide receivers are always going to care about, you know, yards, touchdowns, and stuff like that. So, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory. But, yeah, I'll also show you an example. So I advanced all the way to training results. And I want to show you guys the comparison of when you redshirted a guy and, when you don't redshirt a guy and they actually play, the difference. Because I seen some people in the comments was like, hey, if you redshirt a guy, he's not going to jump up as many overalls as if you play him. And that's just not the case all the time, man. Like I said before, it seemed a little bit random how, players either get upgraded and also, just their progression. So our quarterback, this the elite prospect. He redshirted. I believe he started off as a 72 overall. The computer has invested a lot into his speed, so his speed is all the way up to 85. It's completely random as far as I can see of what the computer invests in, but they went into speed for some reason, so he's a lot faster now. His throwing attributes did not improve as much as I would like to see, but he did get faster. That's cool. And then our other quarterback, the other elite prospect, he started off as a 64 overall, I believe 64, Hunter Freeman, and he jumps up to a 68, and which is not great. You expect a little bit of a higher jump, especially for an elite prospect. But I guess we'll take that. And then the normal development guy jumps up to a 72, and so interesting. Like we're still not in a position to play either of them really. We still have our quarterback, our senior. He jumped up to an 85, so he still would start. So and let's take a look at some other positions, man. Let's take a look at some other positions. And in this situation, our guy Benjamin stays at a 72 overall. He stayed at a 72 overall, or excuse me, he jumped up to a 72 overall. But I have other examples where he jumped all the way up to an 82, 83 overall after his first year. But this year he only jumped up to 72. So interesting to see. But he's still one of our highest rated freshmen out of that class when it comes to the wide receivers. He is a star guy. We redshirted this guy. He jumped up to a 73. And then I believe this guy actually played a lot of downs. And he only jumped up to a 70. Let's go check. So we went to wide receiver stats. And this guy was a 1,000-yard receiver with 12 touchdowns. And he only jumped up to a 70 overall. And, this is a star prospect. Star development, his caps are pretty limited. And that's probably why he didn't jump up too much, because he don't have that many overalls to go up. Like, he may max out at a 80. Really, he's already a 70, and, a lot of his caps is already maxed out. So, it's just not much room for him to grow. And it's tough to see, is what it is, but it's just not much room for that player to grow. So continue to look at our results. Our right tackle that we started, he was a 74 overall normal development. He goes up to a 77, which is okay for a normal development guy. But it is what it is. You want to see more, but he's normal, so is what it is. Our D tackle goes up to 81. And that's solid to see. 81 impact guy. He started all last season. And now he's looking to be, one of our better players. And by his senior year, maybe he could be, high, mid-80s. Then you have a guy like this. He was a backup middle linebacker last season. He started off as a 76 overall, and he jumps all the way up to a 86 overall now, if you look in the top right corner. Jumps all the way up to 86. He's a star with the 4-star. He started off as a 4-star, but he has the star development. His tackling is absolutely insane at a 96. And then, he's just a good player. And he got more to get better. He'll probably max out, maybe around 90 if I had to guess. And then our cornerback room, nothing there. Our free safety, we redshirted our guy, Cam Dell. And his overall did not move much at all, man. He's an impact 4-star. I believe he started off as a 74. He goes up to a 77 with redshirting. But let's go through the other version when we actually play some of these guys and see the reverse and how their development increased. All right, so this is the other franchise where our quarterback, we actually started our freshman quarterback with elite development, and he jumps all the way up to an 80, man. He had a good season. It is very dependent on their season, man. We could go ahead and look at his stats, and it is very dependent on how good of a season he had. He had 3,400 yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 picks. Did he have anything on the ground? He had 100 yards on the ground, nothing crazy there. but it's all dependent on their season. And let's look at this guy right here. In the last franchise, the only thing different here for this wide receiver is he had less receiving yards this go around, but he jumps up to a higher overall. Last go around, he had over 1,000 yards with 12 touchdowns. This is the same 3-star out of high school, but he has the star development trait. And but this go around, he jumps up to a 76 overall with worse stats. So I hope y'all see my point here, where it's random, man. It really is kind of random how players get upgraded, but it's kind of real. It's also realistic because that's kind of how it goes in real life. And then picks, we did not do great with the picks. Oh no, excuse me. We did have a lot more picks. Our cornerbacks. All 4 of our senior cornerbacks all graduated, so they're no longer on our roster. So when you look at the stats, you won't see their stats there. But let's go back into the training results and take another peek. So I said the quarterback jumped up to an 80. Our freshman this time jumps up to a 69. Hold up. Yep, he jumps up to a 69. Now, the other guy, the normal development quarterback, he jumps up to a 74 this go around. And let's see, anything else? Wide receivers. So Theo Smalls this time has a big leap, and he jumps up to a 78 overall for some reason. No idea why, but he jumps up to a 78. Let's see, we see anything else. This guy jumps up to a 74 this go around. We redshirted them, and I'll show y'all another file where he goes all the way up to an 80 for some reason. But after his first year, but we redshirt him this year, and he goes up to a 74. But all our receivers had a pretty good year. As we had a solid year passing, nothing crazy. We went 7-6 on the season. But all our wide receivers, had a solid jump this go around. Let's look at the right tackle. He goes up to a 76, and this time, the backup right tackle overthrows him as the highest overall. So he wouldn't even start this second season. Our D tackle did not go up nearly as much. Last franchise, he went all the way up to an 81. This time he went up to a 76. So, just random. It's kind of random how it goes, but, I kind of like it. Our middle linebacker, this time he goes up to an 81 instead of going up to that 86 that he went up to last time. And this go around, I started him. The entire season. I didn't have him be the backup, and this time he went up less overall. Why? I don't know. Couldn't call it at all. Our free safety pretty much did the same exact thing. But let me hop in that other save file where I can show you guys where how things are different, every go around. All right, so this is the other save file. We went 9-4. I started the quarterback transfer out, but I redshirted the 2 freshmen, the 4-star elite, and then also the 3-star elite. He jumped up to a 76. The other one jumped up to a 70. But this is where it gets interesting. When you come over to wide receiver, Ben, he jumps up to an 81, man. In the last 2 files, he went up to around 70, 74, somewhere in that range. But here he jumped up to an 81, man. And why? Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you why. But he did not start, man. We'll go look at the stats. He did not start for us. The other wide receiver, freshman, impact guy, he goes up to a 70 after redshirting. Our star goes up to, did he just stay in the 60s? Oh no, impact, he's in the 60s. Where's our freshman? This is our freshman 4-star or 3-star star. Yep, he goes up to a 74. But really the story is Ben going all the way up to an 81, and we could go over to, let's go over to the stats, and I'll show you that he did not start at wide receiver, man. He did not catch one pass at wide receiver. Not one pass at wide receiver. He's all the way down here. But where he did play at, kick return. He was our starting kick and punt returner. And he did not even have a good year at kick or punt returner. No touchdowns, averaged 10 yards on the punt return. But for some reason, he jumps all the way up to an 81 after being our starting punt returner and kick returner. And now he's our best wide receiver. Why? I don't know. So this go around, our freshman safety, Cam Dell, he jumps into an 81. He goes all the way up to an 81. The last two save files, he went up to around 77, somewhere around there. He starts off as a 74, and this is him redshirting. He redshirted, he goes all the way up to an 81. So it's just random. Our middle linebacker goes up to an 84 this go around. One go around he went all the way up to an 86. One go around he went up to, I believe, an 81. But this one is 84. D tackle goes up to a John. Yeah, it's John right here. John goes up to a 77. And he went up higher before. Let's see where our right tackle. Right tackle goes up to 78. So all very random, interesting. Why? I can't explain it. Not sure. But is what it is. All right. So in this save file, we decided to start the freshman quarterback, the elite prospect, but the one that was like a 64 overall, and he jumped all the way up to a 74 overall. Man, this is the most progression we've seen by playing him. Every year we redshirted him, he jumped up to around about a 70, somewhere in that range, 70, 69, 68. So he jumped all the way to 74 when you actually played him. And then this time to 78, he would go, the other freshman elite prospect goes up to a 78 overall, which is still solid for him being redshirted. He did jump up to an 80 to one time. But let's go over to wide receiver. And y'all cannot tell me this is not insane, man. This guy goes all the way up. Our guy Ben in this save file, he goes up to an 86, y'all. An 86. He's a star. We already know about him, 3-star. And we got to go over to the attribute, to the stats, because I promise you, he did not catch one ball. It's going to be the same exact thing. Here's the freshman stats, the 64 overall that went up to 74. Not a great season, not many yards, but that's the season he had. But we did have a 1,000-yard receiver, but not none of the freshmen. And let's see, Ben, where our guy Ben at, man? All the way down the list, because he did not catch a ball. He played 124 downs, and every down he played was on special teams, man. Every down he played was on special teams. He's our kick returner, punt returner, and he literally went up 22 overalls. Literally went up 22 overalls from being our starting kick returner and punt returner, and he's only an impact 3-star, or no, excuse me, he's a star 3-star guy though. Insane. I don't get it. I like it. It's random. We seen earlier in the video, it didn't happen, so it's just super random. It does go around. Our right tackle goes up to a 76 overall. That's pretty much on par with what we've been seeing. John, our D tackle, he goes up to 76, which is not great, but pretty much on par. And this is the biggest jump we've seen for our middle linebacker freshman. He goes all the way up to an 87, so he jumps around 10 overalls. And then anything else, our freshman safety this time only goes up 1 overall to 71. So super random, super random. I know I did a lot of jumping around this video, a lot of jumping around from different franchises, but I hope y'all kind of got the picture of what I've been trying to paint for at least this video right here. But anything else y'all need me to explain, let me know down in the comments. I'll try to explain it. If I need to drop a video on it, I will. And this video was inspired all from y'all comments from the last pretty much player development video I dropped. So yeah, thanks to y'all. I came up with this. And if y'all like the video, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that. And I appreciate y'all for watching. We on to the next one.